Om. Om. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Gungurubhyo Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe. Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam. Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata. Anashranmannodipisi dasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Nidalambaya Tejase. Om Yasyatma Bhudasya Guru Prasadat Aham Vimuktosmi Samsara Bandhat Sarvopadeshtu Shivananda Murtehe Mridvang Triyukmam Pranadosmi Nityam Dayasindhum Dinabandhum Shastrartha Bodhana Patum Maskadindra Varam Naumi Sri Chidahananda Sadgurum. Om Praninam Dukkha Hartaro Jnanado Bhuvana Muktaye Shivananda Chidananda Ashraye Guru Sattamu. Om Shantatmanam Pranadasulabham Siddhavidya Prabhavam Bhaswadrupam Sugunanilayam Dvastakarmadivargam Prajnavritam Nijasamadrisham Taradam Tyagibhadyam Sakshadisham Mamaguruvaram Shivanandam Natosmi. Shivanandam Natosmi. Om. My humble prostrations to everyone here. And our theme is true spirituality is a call to absolute freedom. Last year during the Christmas, I heard my tape few days before, and I find that I have started saying that I am not going to talk to you anything humorous light. I am going to talk to you something serious. Be attentive. This time I tell you, I am going to talk to you something humorous. But be attentive actually. Be attentive. So what happened? When Swamiji came and told me that this is the theme on which you have to talk, some few days before he told me, then sometimes I used to see this paper, it is kept on my table, what is the theme? I used to contemplate on that so that some ideas will form to speak actually. So I was looking at this sometimes. So 2 days before, I was thinking, oh, this is the theme, what to talk. Then I slept. And I had a dream. In the dream, our Amrita Rupa the Mataji came. He told me, Swamiji, yes, I have something to talk to you very serious. What is that? I think that Swami Atmaswarupananda is trying to make fun of all of us. He makes us fools. How come you say like that? I said. Then she told me, you see, last time he gave the subject, true spirituality is absolute trust. Prior to that, true spirituality is absolute surrender. Something like that. Some theme he gives, and everybody has to speak on the same theme. And so there will be a lot of confusion. Each one will say something. And there is another point is also there, that, see, last time he gave the theme, the true spirituality is absolute trust. So everybody said it is absolute trust. Now he says it is absolute, call to absolute freedom. If something is absolute trust, how can it include something else? If it is trust, absolute trust, there is no space for any other thing. Okay? Then how come that you can speak about this? So he is just laughing at all people. Whatever I say, they say yes, they say. And he is fooling all of us. Then what to do, I think. I was asked that, what? Then what? All right, this time we will deny that. It is not like that we can deny. I was about to tell that, and then suddenly I got up actually. Then it was a dream. So every time he gives a subject, and everybody comes and says that. And I told you that last time itself. When we start these Christmas celebrations, when the Bible reading, I start with that same thing. Because he is trying to fool me, I am also trying to fool him also. Every time he reads John first, and that he says, so in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So something like that. And so this time Swamiji also said it is a mystical expression. It is a mystical expression. So last Christmas retreat, during the last Christmas retreat, I mentioned about some points on this. I will just sum up that because that will be the foundation for today's topic actually. You have to be attentive. Humor is there, but you have to be attentive. You see, I mentioned that the words we use, they don't specify anything. None of the words we use specify anything. They are generic in their nature. They are genus. In Sanskrit, they call it as jati. No word is there to specify something. All the words only indicate a category. If you say man, it is category. Atma Swarupananda is a name given by you. It is not common. Nobody knows it unless you tell him. You have to introduce him. So you say man, table, train, car, whatever you say, it is only a common sound. It is called jati, they call it as a category. In English you can call it as genus. Otherwise it represents an action, a verb. Run, eat, drink, write, like that. So jati, then that is a common category. A category or an action or a quality. Quality means that white, sweet, then bright, tall, whatever you say, they are all qualities. Or their inter-se relationship. It's a German, so he is born in Germany. A driver, a cook. So there is no word which specify anything. Last time also I told you, you think about it, you contemplate on that. So whatever we specify anything, that is we attributed to that. It is not accepted by the all. It is not an accepted thing. You have gave you have given that nomenclature. It is known to you, and the other man has to accept it actually. So all the words we use are general in nature and nothing specific. And now we come back to that. In the beginning was the word. Okay, it is correct. In the beginning was the word. In the beginning was the word. So it is a mystical expression. A mystical expression, you will not be able to understand it fully because it passeth that understanding level. It passeth all understanding. But you can understand at some level also. It can be explained to some extent to indicate something. It is only an indication. It indicates something. So when it is said that there was the word, in the beginning was the word, it is true at the mundane level also. At the mundane level also it is true. I will touch upon that point little. So we were all born at some point of time. Maybe I was born 80 years before. Some of you may be 40 years before. So, when a child is born, when a woman gives birth, when a lady gives birth to a child, in the olden days, there will not be there was no hospital in those days. So even today also when there is a hospital, somebody is waiting outside, the lady is there, having got labor pain and she is inside the room and people are waiting outside. Those who are related to that lady, they will be waiting outside. Those days when my mother gave birth to me, she gave birth in the house only, there was no hospitals. Probably you are also born in the house only. Where hospital was there?
Oh, yes.
80 years before.
Oh, yes.
We did not have hospitals in India. Even Gurudev in Malaysia, the lady was in labor pain and he was waiting outside the hut. So in many places, even in England and Canada, maybe 100 years before, there would not have been hospitals. So 200 years before, hospitals were not there. The delivery of a baby is not a disease. There is no need for a hospital. It's a natural process. The cows deliver. Likewise, only human deliver. We have made it very complicated now. Taken it to the hospital and all. So anyway, when a lady is labor pain and she is there, everybody is anxious, those who are related, anxious. Even now in the hospitals, the nurse and others who are around her will be looking. And then this undergoing a pain. Then the child is born. When the child is born, what happens? It cries. When the child cries, everybody will laugh. If the child doesn't cry, everybody will weep. Your cry brought joy to others. The moment you are born, everyone, we all cried and brought joy to others. That cry, in India they call it as, when the child cries, they make a sound, wah, wah, like that. Some sound it will make. Everyone made like that sound, whether you are from Spain or India, it makes no difference. Open the mouth and say, wah, like that. So, when that sound, the first thing that was indicated life on this earth is this sound actually. And it brought joy. And in Sanskrit they say the first sound of the child is called qua, means, in Sanskrit qua means, who am I? Who am I? It may be symbolic, maybe somebody has coined it beautifully, but it is beautiful. You try to inquire, who am I? Where from I have come? So this sound actually. So that sound brought joy because that sound is an expression. Is an expression of breath actually. What is that sound? Ultimately, what is sound? As I speak to you, my breath gets expressed actually. The air, I make the air to pass through certain areas of this body, then it produces this sound actually. Sound is an expression of the breath. And what is breath actually? Breath is, He has breathed into you, and on the sixth day, God made man in His own image and breathed into him the life actually. The breath that is moving in you is not yours. None of you have control over that breath. You can only change the patterns little. Beyond that you can't do anything. It is automatically going. Absolutely you have no control over it. You can control over everything else but not on this. The breath is His breath. He has breathed into you actually. So that the breath gets expressed. It comes in the form of sound actually. The sound, the word, is a manifestation of the breath. Is an indication of the life in you. And this life, the breath, your presence, we call it as Emmanuel, the God in you. Your word, the sound you produce, is your breath. And the breath is not yours. All other things you have got control. You cannot do anything with that. And it is His providence that it moves. You have no control over that. Okay. Contemplate on this point. We have control over everything else here, but absolutely no control on this prana. And this prana only gets expressed as sound actually. Sound otherwise called word. So ultimately, the sound, the first manifestation, according to Indian philosophy also, the first manifestation of the absolute, which is transcendent, is the sound actually. Sound itself is not very gross, it is very subtle. But comparatively, compared to that transcendent reality, it is a gross thing. Sound is a gross thing. So sound is the first expression or the manifestation of that transcendent reality that absolute reality. So from this you can trace back to that. From this gross you have to go to that absolute, from where it has come. You have to search for the origin of that. So when they make a mystical expression, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, means it is absolutely true at this gross level also. The Word is your expression. Word indicates your presence. The sound indicates your presence. If the sound was not, if the baby didn't cry, then others will cry. So the word, the sound, indicates, it's a lakshana. Lakshana means it indicates that something superior, something which is beyond our comprehension, something which is transcendent is there, and it gets expressed in the form of sound. So that is, and then this sound, you have to, now he has used so many sounds: absolute, surrender, trust, call to freedom. Freedom. So what is this freedom? What is this absolute? What is these are all sounds? At the level of sound, these absolute, freedom, surrender, trust, all are one only. Swamiji cannot make me a fool. I will say everything is one. Whatever be the word you use, when you go to the origin, it is one only. Whether you use the word surrender, okay, it is surrender only. The surrender, the mother of the surrender is absolute. The mother of the surrender is breath. Breath only gave birth to this world, surrender. Birth only gave birth to the word absolute. Birth only gave it to trust. So every time he uses different words. Ultimately, he gives us only one subject. So I don't consider as Mataji has put to me, it is a different subject. It is only one subject. So, whatever be the terminology you use, the words you use, whether it is surrender, trust, faith, whatever it is, ultimately they are all words. And these words are the manifestation of the breath. Breath means life. Life means you. You means Emmanuel. The presence of God in you, the divine in you actually. And we have to trace this. From this we have to trace that. So, there is a famous Vedic mantra. Few days before, Christy came and showed me that mantra. Somebody was talking on that mantra in the US. They were doing that, the analysis of that intonation only. They were doing how that intonations they were doing. And I also saw that. But that mantra has got a big meaning actually. The word we use, the sound we produce. Before this sound, what was it? Before the sound is produced, what is the cause for this sound? What is the cause for this sound? I said breath. That is okay. But what is the cause? So breath gets expressed as sound, that is okay. So, suppose if you use the word absolute or surrender, before that, the word is an expression. It's an articulated sound. It's something you articulated. What is the cause of that word? So they search for the cause of the words. Not any single particular word, all words. So whatever you speak, don't try to philosophize this. You speak actually. You speak continuously. There is a flow of words. From where the words came, from where it comes, whatever language you speak, need not be philosophy, anything, worldly things. Give me a cup of water, you say. So all those words come from which source? Have you any time thought from? You must be an intelligent being and there are thoughts. You want water, then you say, give me a cup of water. So thought is the source for the words. So the ancients have traced that, the source of these words. Chatvari vak parimita padani tani vidur brahmana manishinaha. Chatvari vak parimita padani. Pada means words. The words are at 4 levels. The words are at 4 levels. So you understand only at one level. The spoken word you understand. As I speak to you, you understand. But what I think you cannot understand. I can say you are a wonderful person. I can say you stupid. I can say inside the mind. You don't read my mind actually. So you understand the 4th level. There are 3 levels before that. Chatvari vak parimita padani tani vidur brahmana manishinaha. The 3 levels are hidden in the heart chamber. And they are not cognizable to us. The 4th one, what we speak, the sound, you can cognize. The instrument is there. You got the ear. With this ear, you are able to hear that sound and you are able to manage what does it mean. Try to understand what does it mean. But there are 3 more levels before that. It is the 4th expression. So 3 more levels are there. All the 3 are hidden in the heart. Guhatreni nihitani nengayanti. They are hidden. They remain in the heart, not cognizable actually. It's not visible to us, it's not cognizable to us. We are not able to, the intellect is not enough to understand that. You see, now we are typing something in the computers. If you type a word, it is not stored in that form actually. It is stored in this binary numbers or something like that. It is in a digital form, entirely different form. You don't type A means it doesn't go and stick there as A. It is there in some other form. And you can reconvert it. So likewise, these words, they remain without manifestation, in a stage where you cannot cognize with these external instruments. So they remain very dormant there. And the instrument we use to understand the words are not adequate to understand that. Otherwise, you can understand the word was God. Why you are not able to understand the word was God? Because the instrument you use is not adequate to understand that the word is God. You should have an instrument which can trace back from where this word has come. Whatever be the word, then you go back to that source. Oh, it is an expression. It is his expression. So this is the mystic. And it is true also. It is true also. So, because the equipment we use, with this equipment, you will not be able to trace out the source of that sound actually. From where the sound came, what was its original form. So then you have to adapt some other means actually. So we have to adapt some other technique to understand the cause for that word. You are speaking, and behind this speech, from where this sound came, from where the sound comes, to go to that source, we need a different equipment. This sound equipment is not enough. This equipment will only give the meaning of that. Some meaning you will understand. It will also be at the gross level. So at this level, he expresses this word and you. Someone throws a ball up. So you are here. When it comes down, you can hold it actually. So when he throws it up, he throws the ball with certain velocity, certain speed actually. So it goes and it gets zero there and it comes down. When you receive it with the same velocity. You don't receive it at the zero velocity. But if you raise yourself to that level, you can catch it there itself. So you have to raise yourself to that level from where it comes, and then you have to use that instrument. Sometimes we say, you want to tell something, I want to tell something. Before that, you tell that means, oh, you have pulled the words from my mouth, they say. Somebody can read your thoughts. You have read my thought, it seems, they say. So is it possible to read the thoughts? So they say that it is possible to read the thoughts. And here in India, there is a faith, and to some extent it is true also. To a great extent it is true also. Those who are very much connected to each other, like the Guru and the Shishya, the father and the son, the man and his wife, those who are totally in love with each other, they will be able to read their mind. The Guru will never speak to the student. His eyes should speak actually. Uttamas chinditam kuryat. What thought goes in your mind, I should be able to understand that. Otherwise, your relationship with the Guru is not perfect. The Guru will not speak to you. Swami Padmanabhanandaji Maharaj once told this in the Samadhi Mandir. Samadhi Shishyas will advise how you should do like that. Others he will understand what he wants and then they will do. Uttamas chintitam kuryat. This is not the case with the spiritual field alone. It is the case with even the art form also I have seen. In Kerala we have got a dance program. It will go on throughout the night. So one drummer cannot do this. So the teacher will be drumming sometime. And then he wants that, now I am tired, you come and play. He wants to tell this disciple. He will do like this, he will look like this. And that fellow will come, they come with the drum and play. And sometimes he finds this drum is not good. He wants another drum. He looks like this. And that fellow will come and hand over the drum and go. Then I asked him, how do you know your teacher wants another drum or he wants you to play? That he told me, my teacher's eye will speak to me, he said. The way in which he looks, he will speak to me, he said. It is your common experience also that beyond the spoken words, sometimes you can understand the mind of the person. You are able to understand the thought levels. Your thought understands the thought of the other person. May not be a common experience, but as you purify yourself, as your intimacy is there with the person, you understand the person. It is not, you are not understanding his words. You understand the person actually. So your intimacy, to what extent you are intimate, to what extent you are totally giving out, that helps you to read his thought. The thought, they call it as pashyanti, they call it as. This word, spoken word, is called vaikari. The thought is called pashyanti. Prior to that, there is a stage. It is called madhyama. Still you can go further and understand. And prior to that, there is a stage called para, that supreme absolute. The absolute in you becomes first manifestation. And the second manifestation, you can call it as thought level. I make it a crude explanation. I give a very crude explanation. It is not exactly that way, but still, for you to understand little, for you to have a glimpse of what I am speaking about. So the absolute gets expressed. Then it gets further expression. Then it is called the thought level. And then the fourth is the words, actually spoken words. So ultimately, when you are communicating with me, when you are communicating with anyone, the absolute is communicating to the other absolute. And there may be slip, that is a different thing. But who is communicating? As I am communicating to you, I am communicating myself to you. It is not that I am speaking to you. It is not that I am delivering a talk to you. I am communicating to you. It is a communion of the absolute and the absolute actually. The self and the self. The God and God. When Gurudev says, oh, we saw God in you. Yes, yes, God was speaking to gods, he said. God was speaking to God. So depending upon to what extent we are able to purify ourselves. When I said that depending upon your intimacy with a person depends upon how far you are giving out, how far you are free from grabbing selfishness, how far you have purified your heart. And all our problems, all our disturbances, all our worries are about two things. Fear, yes, a sense of insecurity, and sense of want. Sense of want. I want this. How I will get it? This worry is always there. How to get it, how to get it, how to get it, how to get it. Your wants, your thoughts are ultimately your wants only. All your thoughts, disturbing thoughts, are your insecurity feeling, your fear. And it's an imaginary thing. You don't need anything. You are full. And what is absolute? Empty yourself of all the vexations of the imaginary vexation of the mind. Empty yourself of the imaginary fear you entertain. This fear and vexation is a superimposition on the absolute in you, on the Emmanuel in you. God is my shepherd, I shall not want. So if the mind is devoid of unwanted vexations, imaginary vexations, if the mind is devoid of all fear, anxieties and desires, it is samadhi, it is absolute, it is the call of the call for the absolute freedom. Hari Om Tat Sat.